Welcome back to another live with RainBNB Decentralized Community Building CHAMA. Now today we'll do a comparison between Aviator. I know most of you have heard of Aviator, and of course the infamous RainBNB Decentralized Community Building CHAMA. So welcome to our campaign. This is yet another live, and we'll keep doing more lives so that we can of course educate the masses and bring awareness of our campaign to everyone in Africa. So, with this comparison, we'll start with gambling addicts, aka Aviator players, and Forex beginners, or rather the people who are looking for ways to make money fast. Of course, we'll do a comparison of that with RainBNB. I want you to see why RainBNB is better for your future. All right, this is not just for gamblers, but every African in Africa. So it doesn't matter whether you're a gambler or not, whether you do sports betting or not, this is also still for you. Yeah, so with the first comparison between RainBNB and Aviator, we'll have Aviator coming in. So number one, the trap versus the plan. So on Aviator, it looks like you can win big, which it definitely does. But the system, right? The system is designed so the house always wins in the long run. So of course, you definitely get a few small wins to hook you. Then boom, once you're hooked, that means now you have put in more money, and then that is how you lose everything that you've been chasing. All right. So it's an addiction trap. It's not a plan. So Aviator is basically meant to entrap those who are shallow-minded. And once you fall for it, that's it. You're in. And you're in locked for life. Because this become an addiction. And once you get hooked, it becomes very, very hard for you to undo the whole thing. Because it becomes now a trend and part of you. So now let's compare that to RainBNB. So RainBNB is not a bet, it's a plan. So how does a plan rather work? You invite people, you earn real BNB, real rewards every time. So no gambling here, no tricks, just growth by community, you and I. It's as simple as that. Now remember, RainBNB is a decentralized tool. So hapa hakuna cha kampuni, this is not a company. Hapana. This is a platform that is accessible for every individual on earth. But the essence of this campaign is so that Africans can be aware of the tool that can literally empower them financially out of a very small start. Very, very small, which costs roughly, when you convert, that's about $2.7 to $3.2 worth. Can you imagine? And it's a payment that, or rather it's a contribution, because remember RainBNB is a decentralized community building CHAMA. So it's a contribution you're making for you to be a participant into that community. So let's move on to the second comparison. Luck versus logic. So on Aviator, it's 100% luck, no doubt. Okay? You have no control whatsoever. You might win 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then you lose about 20 times or 100 times over. So you compare that you compare what you've put in vis-a-vis what you're getting out of it. It does not make sense at all. So emotions definitely run wild with the hope, fear, and panic, which also comes later on as regret, that you would possibly have made something out of that. But the system is rigged. That's one thing you need to understand. There's word that has been coming out that the system is no longer meant, to act unpredictably, but it rather acts very predictably, in the sense that it has been programmed for you to fail. So gambling before all this manipulation and human greed came in, it was somehow kind of fair, but remember, the house ultimately always won. But there are chances, or there are times where you'd hear winners who would come out of playing some of, or rather, out of the gambling games. And it made sense then, but now you need to realize that they know that you're addicted, and it's easy to hook you into these things, and so they give you something that can get you hooked onto for life. So it becomes like a drug. Now, let's compare that to RainBNB. So RainBNB is 100% logic. The more you invite, the more you simply earn. It's as simple as that. Hapa watu wanakuja kuchangiana do. So that means once you have made your contribution through the link, of course, that you have been invited with, because hapa hivi huwezi ingia hii community bila kuinvitiwa na mtu. Right? So it's a whole community of real people who are contributing or funding each other monies. It's as simple as that. That's the whole essence of this campaign awareness, so that people can really understand exactly what is going on and the benefit it comes to them. So it's very simple math, simple work, and real results. It's only that now what we are using is cryptocurrencies. And we do understand that crypto is the new shape or the new face of money, because or rather accounting for the evolution of money, or how money has changed faces throughout the evolution of man to this moment, you will realize or understand that cryptocurrency is a new face of money that people have to adopt to, especially Africans, because we have over 400 unbanked adults who still don't believe in putting money in the bank. So that's what I mean. And if we can actually take the advantage of that and show them of a tool where they can actually own or control their own funds without any interference or meddling from the central bank or any sort of government or central institution. It's that simple. So let's move on to the third comparison: fast crash and steady cash. Understand this: fast crash and steady cash. So let's start with the first one, being Aviator. Aviator, you can lose everything in seconds, and I mean everything. Once that plane takes off, you never know at what point it's going to go down. It could go down even at 0, it could go down at 1, it could go down at 10, or whatever number they put there. So it's a guessing game, and you never know where your luck lies, because you have now put your luck or to fate, assuming that maybe it will fall to your favor. Never works like that. So it's fast money. Sometimes you win, but most times you definitely are guaranteed to lose, because you're not here to make money for yourself. You're here to make money for those companies. More specifically, the betting companies that have installed Aviator as part of their gambling, options or shows. And you will, of course, come out of it with a big heartbreak and an empty pocket. Now, let's compare that to RainBNB. So, RainBNB gives you steady cash. How? You grow step by step. Hapa hivi hakuna get rich quick kind of initiative ama scheme. Hapana, we are not running that at all. Here, you are coming in, unachangia mtu. That now makes you eligible to receive contributions from those who you invite. Now, one thing you need to understand is, kuna swali mingi nashinda nikiulizwa. Okay, do I have to refer? Of course you have to refer. I mean, what business out there does not thrive on referrals or new customers? Hebu kaa chini hata ujiulize hiyo swali pia wewe. Because when you come to me and ask me if you have to refer, how do you expect to make that money? How do you expect to receive contributions from other people? That you definitely have to refer for you to make not just small money or small contributions, but because RainBNB, how it has been designed or programmed, is to generate for you wealth to insane levels. So it all depends on you, on what you want exactly. Because, of course, with the starting amount, like I mentioned, ni hiyo 0.0045 BNB peke yake. That's roughly 2.7 to about $3.2 thereof. Because it has to account for the volatility of the asset, because remember we're dealing with cryptocurrencies and they are very volatile in nature. That means leo inaweza panda in price, kesho ishuke, kesho kutu ipande tena in crazy amounts. So yeah, that's something that you should also expect, but it is an advantage to you. Why? Because whatever contributions you're receiving here, maybe you've received contributions from 10 people or 50 people, and that comes to about $100. That's just a rough example. It's not the exact amount. Now today it's worth $100. Tomorrow we wake up with a market bull run on the cryptos. You find that your assets are now worth $150. Are you not double gaining that? That is double gain, my friends. So you have to really think on exactly where you are going to get a better result or a better outcome if you put your small money into it and your time as well. Of course, you need to put time into this, because if you do not invest time in talking to people about it, definitely you do not expect to get anywhere. So you respect RainBNB as much as you respect the jobs where you're making or you're being paid your salaries from. All right? And it will definitely give you good returns. So small daily wins that stack into big passive income, big time. Because remember, besides the contributions you are receiving or people are giving to each other directly, remember I said this is not a company. So watu wakichangiana, hizo dozi zinaenda wapi? They go straight into your wallets. So it moves from my wallet into someone else's wallet, whoever is supposed to receive that contribution, direct. Now, it might not come in as the full figure, which is 100%. It might come in as about 70%. But that 30% has been taken into what we call a pool fund. And you realize the benefit of this pool fund as you proceed. Because hii ni kama sako. So unaona vile sako unaweza kuwa una save. And then now you get to have now special access, maybe, or perks that allow you to receive bigger loans. But in this case, hapa si loans unapewa. Ni ile tu do yako ndo unapewa, but in bigger sums. Right? In bigger sums. Yeah, so basically that's how RainBNB has been designed to work. Because this is a smart contract that works independently on the blockchain network. So this is basically a decentralized community that is not controlled or edited by any central authority. All right, so let's go to comparison number 4. Slavery and freedom. Now we start with Aviator. With Aviator, you definitely become a slave to the next bet, because maybe umepoteza hii ama hii umetengeneza kado kidogo, una hope wacha nirudi kwa hiyo ingine, maybe naweza ongeza hiyo amount, and then you end up being washed, you lose it all. So the next chance you're hoping for definitely kills your funds again. So you waste time, energy, and emotions chasing a maybe that will never happen. And before you realize it, your account is run dry. Now you have to start looking for funds or money from either where you work, from your business, from your home. You start selling items like TVs, your laptop, your phone, simply just to gamble and gamble it away. We've heard these stories of people losing not just thousands of shillings, hundreds of thousands, even millions. Mtu anauza gari yake mzee, just so that he can get that money to put into that slot for him to gamble and try and see if luck will shine on him. Never works like that. Like I told you, these sites have been programmed to bring the company or the house your money, not for you to win. They'll give you small wins just to feed you kidogo, just to attract you, to keep you there. You keep going. But really, you're the one who is ultimately losing on everything. So your time, or rather your own time, your own rewards are lost. Everything. So let's compare that to RainBNB. With RainBNB, you build freedom, by growing a network of people, real people. Hapa hivi, it's not a programmed flight that you never know where it's going to crash or take off from, or how far it's going to stay up. Here you're dealing with real people who are giving out, who are contributing or distributing, or rather gifting each other real money. Because with BNB, once you may receive these contributions, it's up to you now. You can withdraw to an exchange. Remember, money is coming directly into your e-wallets. These are electronic wallets or digital wallets, if I should call them that. Now, these wallets, only you have access to them, except if it's a if it's an exchange wallet. With exchange wallets, the exchange company has to be centralized so that it can be licensed by governments to operate in those specific jurisdictions. Sawa. Now, once you have received your contributions, you have the option of withdrawing to your exchange so that you now can convert those crypto assets into your local currency, either via bank transfer, PayPal, or M-Pesa, or mobile money, right? Those are the options you have. Or with RainBNB, there are several categories, up to 15. And each category, you get to unlock the contributions and get to receive the same amount you have contributed. Now, but you also have to account for the aspect that a certain percentage is going to be deducted in order for it to be put into a pool fund. This is also meant to pay you again, besides the contributions you're receiving. Now, remember, all this is coming to you out of a starting amount of just 0.0045 BNB. That is roughly 2.7 to about $3.2 out of pocket, mara moja peke yake, all your life. You will never again ever be asked for more contributions out of pocket. No, any contributions you receive, you use now to get yourself into the next category to receive those perks that you're entitled to receive when you're there. Now remember, each category goes as it doubles. So that means if you started with 0.0045, those people who are coming to contribute to you are now coming to contribute to you the same amount, 0.0045, with a deduction of the 30% going to your pool fund and royalties. Because royalties is meant to pay you perpetually, repeatedly, aishi. Now, why? Because of the network you would have built through the community building initiative or RainBNB Decentralized CHAMA. It's that simple. Now, how do you build? You can build even with just 2 people who go tell 2 people who tell other 2 people. Now, that's a whole network being formed. I am running this campaign to do about 1.5 million free activations. Free! But I am only doing this under donor funding. I already started the initiative with my own funds personally, without any outside support. But now I am looking up to donors or sponsors or investors who, of course, want a benefit out of it, so that they can come and support me. Because for me to do the 1.5 million free activations, I need about 7,000 BNB to be exact. That will allow me to start with my local communities here in Kenya. Once I'm done with Kenya, I start now spreading out into other countries. And I'm definitely going to cover the whole of Africa to do the 1.5 million activations for free through those donations. So I always leave details in the description box in my bio, so you can go check all videos there. You will find either there's a till number, phone number, you can send M-Pesa to those designated numbers or accounts, or you can also contribute to this campaign through our wallet address. You can send BNBs directly there, but please be keen on the network you're using. You have to use specifically opBNB network. That's a network we are using even with RainBNB. Because it will be easier for me now to use those funds without having to convert them now to the network we want to use to do the free activations. So if you send it in opBNB, it will be much easier to just kick off with the free activations without the hassle of having to convert them again. Right, so yeah, so we continue. So part of the freedom you get in RainBNB is your own time, and you own your rewards 100%. Remember, here we are not dealing with any central entity. We are dealing with peers, a community of actual or real people, individuals who have come together to contribute or gift each other money in form of crypto, right? Okay, so we move to the fifth comparison, which is temporary high versus permanent growth. So we start with the first one, Aviator. So Aviator will give you short-term excitement, but long-term loss. That is definitely guaranteed. You have also heard of stories out there or testimonies from people who have actually gotten to experience the effects or side effects of gambling on Aviator. Okay? So you need to be really keen on where you want to put your money. Where do you want to get addicted to? Building a community or losing your money? And also losing respect from the community. Because if you start selling all your assets, you sell your cars, you sell your house items, you even probably start selling your own clothes. Utabaki na nini? All in the name of hoping that Aviator will one day make you millions. It never works like that. Never. Neither do these betting companies. Hizi hata kama ni sports betting or whatever kind of betting. It's a very risky game, and only you and you alone are going to lose. The house is winning all your assets. So even with an I almost won, it becomes your life story. I almost won $1 million. I almost won 15M. I almost won 100M. Come on. You cannot just win money out of thin air. You have to work for it. And through RainBNB, you can easily work with very simple requirements. You just talk to someone. Hiyo ni kazi mingi kweli? Yes, it's work, because there are people who get paid off from what they say or talking basically. So it is work. And all you have to do is just talk to someone. Tell them this is a decentralized CHAMA where people come to contribute money to each other. Kama hizi tu tumezoea huku mtani. It's only that sasa hii imekuwa digitized, but it is not at anyone's control. It is at the control of the whole community. Hence the name decentralization. Yeah, so let's compare that now to RainBNB. RainBNB gives you long-term power. Because remember, here you have the backing, or rather this is what you will tell yourself. I built a network that pays me daily. So how do you get to be paid daily? Because you have invited people who have contributed to you, and you have been gifting each other, and you now decide, okay, let me go get into other categories where I can receive more contributions from these people or this same community over and over again. Now, as you keep progressing through those categories, of course, your contributions keep increasing in number, and it's not in fact a small amount. I'm talking big sums of money. People are gifting each other huge sums of money, because assuming like the biggest category or the highest category or level pays you is supposed to give you 54 BNB from each individual. 54 BNB. Remember huko chini hiyo ya kwanza, the first level ama the first category ulianza na 0.0045 BNB. Hii ya juu, hii ya mwisho kabisa, inakwambia ni aje? Kila mtu hapa akifika hii category anakuchangia 54 BNB. I mean, my guys, if you do the calculation, assuming let's work with the rate of $600 per BNB. Na saa hizo unapewa 54 by each person. So 54 times 600, that gives you about $42,000, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, somewhere there. Now, you're getting that figure from each person, and you have a total of about 30 to 33,000 people who are supposed to gift you 54 BNB each. Hiyo ni wapi ulisikia mtu anakuja na kuchangia karibu mita 5, mita 6? Mchango, CHAMA. This is powerful. RainBNB is powerful, and that is why I keep pushing this campaign. And I need donors, I need supporters, I need the community to stand with me so that I can push this campaign even further. You can stand with me by sharing this live, inviting people to this live, or the channels or the WhatsApp communities I usually leave a link to. You can also be joining that for any updates. But this was also the best option so that you can get raw facts and information. Okay? So yeah, that becomes your legacy with RainBNB through a community. Now, if you multiply the 54,000 BNB, the 54 BNB times $600, that's the value you're getting from each person. Now, multiply that with about 30,000 people. Hebu pigeni hiyo hesabu watu wangu mniambie unapata do ngapi? Remember, umeanza na karibu $2.7, and then now you have gotten now to 54 BNB, a point where now each person who is coming on board, or rather upgrading to that category, is gifting you that amount. It's crazy. It gives you about not 54, but over $500 million. Ukipiga hiyo hesabu vizuri, that's over $500 million. Collectively, what you would have received in form of contributions from the RainBNB community of just 33,000 people, 30 to 33,000. It's crazy. So I am not looking at short-term goals, because if I was aiming for that, ningekimbilia hizi forex, watu wanitradie, ama hizi Aviator or sports betting and gambling. And that is where we are losing money. So we need to think outside the box completely. We need to start using our heads. Tuangalie ni wapi na make sense in the long run. Where am I losing more money, and where am I making more gains? You need to ask yourself those questions. Right? So another question you also need to keep asking yourself: do you want to keep feeding the system? Or do you want to build your own system? A network that pays you for life? Because hapa hata sijaongelea story ya royalties bado, ama hiyo pool fund nimekuwa nikitaja. So it's crazy. If you can all just open our eyes, realize whatever tool is in front of us, or whatever I'm campaigning about, I am not just here to yap. Now, juzi tulikuwa on Saturday, actually, we were at Niasafi Children's Home. Those kids are also benefactors of RainBNB, Decentralized CHAMA. How? From the contributions bado tunapata, sindo tunaenda kusaidia kulisha watoto, kuwavalisha, or to give them whatever necessities they require. If they get sick, where do they get money to get treated? So we get maybe like in-house doctors, or people who can or people who offer to actually come check on the kids for free. Alafu maybe tunawachia kitu, so wasiende tu hivyo. So yeah, we are doing big things, and it can only be possible if the community stands as one and we're able to support each other fully. Alright? So tusianze kutupa pesa zetu in places where we know for sure we're going to lose that money. Instead, go into community building. Go into a campaign that you know for sure hapa hivi you're making a benefit out of it. So we need to wake up and realize that Aviator is a scam trap. I'm not saying RainBNB is not a scam. I'm not here to advise anyone over anything. This is just information I'm putting out there. It's now up to you now to decide where you want to go. Mimi is just to provide information, show you what has worked for me, what is working for people, how it is coming to benefit the community as well, and what steps we have taken to make sure, basically we are observing the initiatives of this campaign, because we're all about community building, and this is financial community building initiative. So we are not here to second guess anything. We are here for practicality. So in short, you cannot beat Aviator. Aviator beats you. So every small win is a bait to make you put in more money or fund, or of course lose your direction and later lose big. So with RainBNB, this is not gambling. Okay, it's real BNB rewards, because here the token or the asset we are using, cryptocurrency, is called BNB. BNB is Binance's native token. It's a governance token used by the centralized company, but it is an exchange. But the asset itself is decentralized. In what aspect? They developed it, but they released it into the blockchain ecosystem, and therefore it is no longer in control of the Binance company. Therefore, that control has now been left to us as a community, where now we can benefit from through gifting each other, because it's actual money. When you withdraw those funds from your wallet where you have received the contributions to an exchange, you can literally convert it to M-Pesa by selling it on the P2P market. It's very, very simple. Once you may download Binance Exchange, of course you have to register, complete the KYC. Once you're approved, that's it. You can start trading. Minimum trades, of course, ni from $10, so you cannot buy any assets below $10. $10 is actually below 1,000 shillings if you convert it fairly to 1:100. Yeah, so you cannot buy any assets less than 100 shillings. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. 1,000 shillings, sorry, not 100. 1,000 shillings. All right, so no more losses. We need now to own our future. So stop being played, start getting paid. And RainBNB is a smarter hustle, a way smarter option. Because remember, hapa hivi, you're not putting money repeatedly. With Aviator, if you lose the first lot, what happens? So unaekelea do ingine. Now, when you put more money, where is that money coming from? Is it not from your pocket? But with RainBNB, I'm telling you that one time out of pocket will get you to a point where people are gifting you 54 BNB each. Imagine 54 BNB from each person, and that's a community of just about 33,000 people. Ukipiga hiyo hesabu, mtu yangu, unaweza chizika. You will ask yourself, hii ni kweli? Yes, it's true. Mimi mwenyewe sijafika hapo, but zile contributions nimepata ni very generous, very, very generous. Right now niko category inaitwa ama level inaitwa mentor. That leaves me about maybe 8 or 9, yeah, about 9 levels away from sasa hiyo the last one, the 15th one, which is creator. Nayo nikifika hapo nitasema tu hallelujah, because that is where your life transforms. I'm not saying that these other ones are not, because once you start getting to those prestigious ranks, my brother, you are in money. You are swimming in loads of cash. And here I'm talking about digital assets, where no central authority or entity has any idea what money you're making online. No idea at all, bro. So that means if you're making hundreds of millions, you can literally move those funds in bits into smaller wallets, or even into the exchange, maybe for daily use and things like that, and you reinvest them into other assets, such as Bitcoin. You buy enough BTC and hold, because BTC is also meant to moon. What I mean is that we're expecting BTC to get to over and above $1 million each. One BTC equivalent to $1 million. So imagine if you have about 10 BTC, you have $10 million. Or even 100 BTC, you have $100 million. So we need to think big. We need to think outside the box. We see where the money is. we see which tool can actually help us realize true financial independence. And this is decentralization through RainBNB community building channel. All right, so I will end this live there if you'll allow me, and I will see you tomorrow on another live, of course, with a different topic, either in comparison to something else or something totally different, but all under RainBNB Decentralized Community Building CHAMA. So we'll keep pushing this campaign. Please, if you of course feel like you can contribute towards this campaign and help us reach more Africans, create more awareness, and build a bigger lasting community, you can support us through the details I will leave in the description box. I will, which I also leave in every video that I upload. You can also find that information in my bio. Every video I believe I have put details on how you can participate, or also contribute or become a sponsor or donor or also an investor towards this campaign. So yeah, I think that is it. I will see you on the next live, and I hope you will come in with questions. Tafadhali, I need those questions so that you can answer them live. I'll see you. Yeah, to break down RainBNB. We see if RainBNB is a scam or if RainBNB is actually legit. Sindio, tusiseme hii kitu ni real, kumbe watu wanaosha huku tena. Ama? Yeah, so what I like is transparency, and the beauty of blockchain technology is that exactly. So if you need to find out any information about transactions or the contract address for RainBNB, more specifically RainBNB's smart contract address, and you see how you can actually activate your participation through the same without necessarily using someone's link, you only need the user code or user ID, and you can easily activate yourself through the smart contract. So for the tech geniuses, that's also another option for you to look at if you are trying to verify the legitimacy of a certain platform or tool. So remember, RainBNB is not a company or any central or controlled by any central entity. It is a decentralized smart contract. That means power has now been distributed or given back to the people, to the peers, you and I. Okay? So I think once we understand that, we realize now the power and the potential of how far and how big we can build through this initiative. So yeah, see you guys in the next live. Take care.